Mr. President, I request Chairman of Juko Alumni to be ready for the word. So welcome Mr. Frankie for a word of introduction.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. May I introduce to you the chairman of the Juko Alumni Association, Dr. Adam. Please. Let's start. May I introduce, I think all of you know him, the Deputy Principal for Public Affairs, Professor Daniel Nkule. Yes. May I introduce the resource person, the one who's going to introduce us to the topic, today's topic, Professor. Please, guys, talk. Yes. Because we have time to speak, we introduce better. There is someone who will introduce him before he delivers his speech. May I also introduce the youth government, students government, please, the president, right? The vice president, all youth leaders. May I introduce to you members of staff who are present here. Please you can rise, all of us. Yes, my dear graduates, please rise. All graduates who are here. Yes, let's start for them. May I also recognize the presence of alumni. Any alumni? Yes. Maybe few of them who are here, even if you have already introduced, I would like to give you a mic at least to say something about your presence when you are here. I think introduce your name and say when were you here and which program were you undertaking when you are here. I can see some of you here. So that all those who started at the Q4 and now yes, those who started at the Q4. May I start with Marcel Mukali, because he is here, one of our alumni. We say when he was.
So good morning everyone. I started my studies here in 1993. So until now I am still here.
Let's start with. Thank you, Father. Dr. Henry.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Henry, the Director of Undergraduate Studies. I was here, I completed my studies in 2007. Thank you.
Thank you. Another one. Maybe the chairman.
As I've been introduced, my name is Adam Yamano. I graduated in 2005.
We have another come, please. Okay, producer.
My name is Bonaventure.
ensure there is a clear view for study 2016. Another one? Joseph. Where is he? Myself. Okay, I am Joseph. Okay, my name is Frank Mombia. I started here 2016 to 2018. Let's start for me. Okay, now I turn the mic to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank. Now, I'm going to invite the chairman of Junko Alumni, who is going to welcome our guest of today, Professor Yasin. But before I invite him, because after handing mic to the chairman, he will invite you. So it's better I give the short life history of our professor. Then you will know when you will be, the time you return here, you know who is in front of you and who is presenting. So I welcome you to just be silent as I'm going to give this short biography. Professor Justin Khalid Morasa holds PhD in Development Studies and Masters of Science, Social Research Methods, Development Studies from the University of Sussex, United Kingdom. He also holds postgraduate diploma in poverty analysis for socio-economic security and development from the Institute of Social Studies, Netherlands, Holland. And Masters of Research and Bachelor of Research, Agriculture from Sokoine University of Livestock of Agriculture, SUA. Professor Orasa also holds a diploma in dairy husbandry from Livestock Training Institute, LITI, Tingel, Tanzania. Currently, Professor Orasa is the Deputy Director, Planning, Finance and Administration at the Institute of Social Work, ISW, from February 2022. Professor Orasa worked in various capacities: Assistant Lecturer to Professor at Sokoine University of Agriculture, that is from December 1999 to February 2022. Prior to joining SUA, Professor Orasa worked as livestock tutor at the Ministry of Agriculture Training Institute, MATI, Muungano, Tanga, from 1989 to 1999. Professor Orasa is, in addition to his regular academic activities, is currently the chairperson of Tanzania Quality Assurance Forum, TUQAF. Professor Orasa was also a Sokoine University of Agriculture Academic Staff Association's coordinator, chairperson from April 2013 to January 2016. In addition, he also acted as the coordinator for SUA's Quality Assurance Bureau from August 2018 to December 2019. And as the Associate Director for the Development Society Institute, SUA, from July 2004 to October 2005. Professor Orasa's main areas of research interest include agriculture and rural development, rural livelihoods and well-being and food and nutritional security. So that is the short life, and if you see in terms of academic, for you to be called a professor, it needs a lot of patience and humbleness in working on books. So that is the work we are here to do as JUCO graduates and as JUCO students. This gives us an example that we are here for something that will help us in future. So at this particular moment, we would like to invite the JUCO chairman, who will invite after his presentation or after giving us what we will be the one to invite our guest, Professor Justin Kalisi Orasi. Welcome, Chairman. As he comes, let us welcome him with a clap of hands.
Good morning. Rector, Dr. Father Marcel Kadi, Deputy ARC, Professor Kude, Director of Quality Assurance, Dr. Susan Komba, Heads of Departments, our keynote speaker, Professor Justin Urasa, esteemed Jordan University College members, honored guests, proud parents who are here, JUCO student government, and most importantly, the distinguished graduates of Jordan University College. Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather here on this momentous occasion to celebrate the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and intellectual growth. This convocation is not just a ceremony, it is a statement to the collective efforts of the entire Jordan University College community in pursuit of a noble mission to create and expand opportunities for quality higher education in Tanzania and beyond by offering competitive, demand-driven, and community-relevant academic and professional programs. As we stand on the threshold of new chapter, it is essential to reflect on the significance of this mission of Jordan University College and the impact of it on individuals, communities, and societies at large. As Father Jordan emphasized that you should be men of faith and therefore also have great confidence, hope springs from faith. If you wish to do greater things for the glory of God and the salvation of souls, then you need great power, faith, and boundless confidence. And this confidence has been brought and shared through the education you got. The journey that led us to this moment has been one marked by resilience, innovation, and unwavering dedication to excellence. JUCO has not merely imparted knowledge, it has cultivated thinkers, nurtured leaders, and instilled values that extend beyond the confines of classrooms. Today's graduates are not just recipients of degrees. We hope so. They are torchbearers of legacy built on academic rigor, ethical conduct, and a passion for lifelong learning. In the pursuit of this mission, we recognize the diversity and the dynamism of the academic landscape you have been undergone. Our commitment to being demand-driven ensures that our programs, JUCO programs, are not just academically rigorous but also aligned with the evolving needs of society and industry. The world is changing rapidly, and as an institution, we embrace the responsibility of preparing graduates to navigate this ever-shifting terrain with confidence and competence. It is a collaborative effort that involves the students, faculty, staff, and the communities where JUCO serves. The academic and professional programs are designed not only to enrich the individuals but also to contribute meaningfully to the development and the prospect of communities where JUCO is serving. To the graduating class, I say this, you are the embodiment of JUCO mission. As you step into the world armed with knowledge, skills, and the spirit of inquiry, remember that you are not just recipients of education, you are agents of transformation. The world eagerly awaits your contributions, and we have full confidence that you will carry the torch of knowledge with grace and purpose. To the faculty and staff, college members, your tireless dedication has been the driving force behind the realization of the commission. Your commitment to academic excellence and mentorship has shaped the minds that will shape the future. We owe you a debt gratitude for your unwavering support as we celebrate this convocation. Let us not only look back with pride, but also look forward with anticipation. The journey does not end here. Jordan University College will continue to be a beacon of knowledge and a hub of innovation and a force for positive change. Lastly, in connection with the keynote presentation, which will be coming soon by Professor Justin Urasa, in the heart of the commission to expand educational opportunities lies a profound commitment to addressing the challenges that persist in agriculture across Africa. University graduates equipped with knowledge, innovation, and a sense of social responsibility play a pivotal role in revitalizing impoverished agriculture practices in the continent. As you step into the world, graduates bear the responsibility of becoming agents of change, leveraging their education to introduce sustainable and transformative solutions to the myriad challenges faced by the agricultural sector. Your expertise is the catalyst for reviving poor agriculture, ensuring not only increased productivity but also fostering resilience and prosperity within the community that depend on agriculture for their livelihood. And you have chances to work in agriculture across the value chain. Thank you and congratulations to the graduates of Jordan University College. May your journey be marked by continued success, lifelong learning, and a profound commitment to the betterment of society. I declare that this convocation is officially opened. And with these few words, I would like to extend a welcome to our keynote speaker, Professor Justin Urasa, to take this seat and present the paper. I wish you will be taking notes, putting comments. After presentation, we will have discussion, and the professor will come again to respond to comments, explain some issues raised by you members. So welcome, Professor. Thank you.
I think I'll present from this place.
Okay.
Because of the laptop in here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not very good at protocol because I'm not a politician, so I assume all protocol has been observed. And I take this opportunity to thank the college, the University College Management for agreeing to me coming here and having a talk with you distinguished guys. And it's my hope that we'll have a fruitful discussion. It's more of a discussion rather than a presentation. Therefore, President Convocation, thank you very much for welcoming me. And the director, principal, that's why I don't want protocol. So let's just say that protocol has been observed and we start. And it's my belief that for those who read the holy books, especially the Bible, which job was mankind given as the first job or vocation? The Bible says it's agriculture. Agriculture was the first profession given to mankind, that through agriculture you shall feed yourself and your life shall be okay. But nowadays, agriculture is no longer that attractive to many people. But nonetheless, it still has the potential for job creation to university graduates and also to other youth. So I'll briefly, because I think I only have now it's 40 minutes. We'll be doing this in 40 minutes because I want to maintain the original timetable. So by the end of the day, we'll have returned to normality. And my presentation outline will be along that scenario. We'll have the introduction, and I'll present some statistics on Tanzania's youth employment status, but also on graduate employment opportunities in the agricultural sector of Tanzania. What are the existing opportunities? What are the available financing options? What about agricultural insurance? What are the challenges that these graduates might face? But also, what are the possible solutions? Because it's not just good to talk about challenges, but also try and put on the table some solutions. And lastly, I will conclude and offer one or two recommendations. And we're saying that employment in the agricultural sector has rarely carried a high standing, and this is not a current phenomenon, but it's straightforward. So from time immemorial, many people don't like to go into agriculture. And now in Tanzania, we have a new phenomenon. There's this betting. Betting has become more or less like a full-time job. We have so many betting companies, Sportspesa, M-Bet, you name it, radio stations have started betting things, TV stations. So everybody is now using betting as an employment, which is quite wrong. Instead of people getting happiness at the end of the day of betting, many are frustrated by the outcomes because only one person in the middle will get whatever is said as a price. So many more will lose, and if it's a daily thing, and it's really not that nice. Therefore, it is not surprising that most young people, and graduates included, in developing countries express a desire to leave farms. They don't even to be associated with farming, and farming in the past has been associated with backwardness. And at times it's also like a condemned thing, like people say, if you cannot do it in education, why don't you go to farming? If you cannot make it to politics, why don't you go to farming? If you do not succeed in what you're doing, people are told to go to farming. And that makes farming look even more worse. Like if it's the last resort, it's the end of last resort, then perhaps nobody should get engaged in it. Nonetheless, agriculture will continue to generate employment in Africa over the coming decades, and especially if you look along the whole agricultural value chain. If you just look at one node of the agricultural value chain, then perhaps you might not be that much attracted to agriculture. But the agriculture sector has a value chain, and there's the production node, but there's also the retailing and marketing node. So along the value chain, somebody, even a person who is not trained in agriculture or animal husbandry, can still make a living from the agricultural sector. And Africa's agricultural sector is quite untapped, and there are a lot of jobs there. And especially if we remember the scenario when the Ukraine and Russia war broke, many African countries struggled with their food supplies, especially those countries which rely on importing wheat from Europe for their bread and chapati and noodles. So because of the war, AFCON was shaken. And that's why Africa did not take a side. Because if they took a side and Russia stopped exporting wheat to Africa, it would have been catastrophic. But the supply of wheat from Ukraine affected the wheat price and made food become expensive and therefore making life unbearable to many poor people. Again, looking at the statistics presented in that slide, we are talking about that Africa could move from $313 billion they earned from agriculture in 2010 to over $1,000 billion. And if we could achieve that, perhaps we could even avoid this tendency of our leaders trotting all over the world seeking for assistance from the masters, the colonial masters who ruled over us so many years, and we continue to depend on them. Even at times to just build some pitch latrines, we want assistance from the people of America, friendship from the people of America. They just come and dig 2 pits and then they say, this is a grant from the people of America. But if we improve agriculture, perhaps we not need that anymore. And Africa for a long time has relied on food imports. Even Tanzania, we are currently importing oil from the Far East, where you have good land and you have an energetic population which is youthful. More than half of the population of Tanzania is made of youth. So if the youth went into agriculture, perhaps we will not be importing oil from Malaysia and the Far East. And that in itself would have created employment for those engaged in oil processing, but also those in production and marketing and transportation. Tanzania's agricultural sector accounts for 66.6% of the country's employment, and it contributes 26.1% of the national GDP. Of the 2.3 million hectares classified as high potential, only less than 500,000 are under improved irrigation. So we can use irrigation to open up more land and increase our agricultural production. And we are saying an estimated 55% of the land could be used for agriculture and more than 51% for pasture. However, only 6% of that agricultural land is cultivated, and the practice of shifting cultivation causes deforestation, land degradation, and on pastoral land. And as you are all witnesses, there are a lot of land use conflicts because of poor management of the land, which has prompted pastoralists and agro-pastoralists to move all over Tanzania. In the past, you never used to hear of pastoralists living in Lindi and in Mtwara and in Ruvuma regions. But nowadays, we hear a lot of conflicts between the crop producers and the rest, and it's because of poor land use. Therefore, I'm saying that the agricultural sector has potential for the youth to employ themselves, including graduates from even Jordan. Those jobs are not just there for graduates from the University of Agriculture and other universities and institutions training in agriculture and livestock. Even a person outside agriculture can still employ himself or herself in the agricultural sector and earn a living. And youth unemployment globally is a problem, but in Tanzania it's also a major problem. And around 850,000 Tanzanians enter the labor market yearly, based on the statistics of 2022 study. And only 50 to 60,000 jobs can be offered, common jobs can be offered to this entrance to the labor market. And if we look at table 1, you can see that agriculture employs about 61%, manufacturing 8%, and services 30%. So agriculture still is the main employer. So why should we shy away from engaging with the main employer and only say to manufacturing, which only offers 8% of the employment opportunities? When you come to table 2, table 2 shows the employment in the formal sector. That is the central government, the local government, parastate organizations, political parties, NGOs, religious organizations, international organizations, and embassies. And that only 5% of those employed work in those areas mentioned. The private business non-farm accounts only for 27.7%, and 58.7% is by agriculture. So you look at the table, that is not that very easy to read from the far, but we are saying that private business non-farm offers 22.7% opportunities. On or family farm offers 58.4 employment opportunities. So you can see that agriculture still offers more opportunities for employment than the private non-farm sector, but also than the government. The government and local government only employs 2.6% of the population. Parastate organizations 0.3%. Political parties, religious organizations range 1.9%. International organizations and foreign embassies only 0.1%. So you can see that agriculture can still be the mainstay of employment creation for graduates, but also other youth. Table 3, which I will show after a while, shows that Tanzania's unemployment rates based on geographical area, education and age are that rural areas there's less unemployment compared to urban areas. And we find that the rural area unemployment is 7.4%, other urban areas like Morogoro, Singida, it's 11.0%, and in the slum, the place where everybody after the graduate wants to go, unemployment rate there is 20.5%. So unemployment rate is very high in the slum. So you need to think of going to another area, don't go to the slum because you'll be frustrated anymore. Go back to these other upcoming towns like Mwanza, Mbeya, Songea, Dodoma. Perhaps you stand a better chance of being employed compared to going to the slum. But when it comes to education level, we are saying that university graduates face an unemployment rate of 10.6%. So 1 in every 100 graduates is not employed. And you can see that when it comes to those people with very little education, like those who never attended school, only 6.1% of them are not employed. We need to ask ourselves why. Is it because after we get our degrees, we think that we can no longer associate ourselves with the land? Or what? But standard 7 or some of the who never entered higher education, then they do any work. But with graduates, we tend to be quite selective, quite picky, while the opportunities are not there. So you can see that there's a lot of unemployment by the different education status, and the leading area is secondary education. That's why we have 13.8% of those completing secondary education don't have employment, followed by vocational education, then tertiary education and university. But age-wise, again, 15 to 35 years, which in Tanzania is the age of the youth, the unemployment rate is 12.6%, and the unemployment rate of those between 36 and 64 is at least low, and above 65 it's low, but most of them have already exited. So that's why above it's low. So we don't have so many above 65. And then when it comes to table 4, we are talking about youth employment status. And we are saying that in the rural areas, 12.6% are unemployed. In other urban areas, it's 18.7%, and industrial, it's 35.10%. So here we narrow down to just the youth, the employment status of people based on where they live and based on their age. So you can see that the youth. So you can see that the rural areas where agriculture and local production is practiced more, there is less unemployment of the youth compared to to urban areas. Okay, now I move to the direct development opportunities in Tanzania agriculture sector. And as even the president of the Convocation said, when we consider the agricultural value chain, then there are a lot of possible areas where a graduate can enter and start to be employed in the agricultural sector. And when I talk of agriculture, I'm talking of the broad definition of agriculture, including livestock production and agriculture. So here we're not separating that agriculture is crop farming, and then you have agriculture, you have the fruits and vegetables and flowers, and then you have livestock. So here we're talking about the broad agricultural sector. And therefore, we can employ ourselves in terms of floriculture, vegetable farming, fruit farming, different crops like barley and other spices, cereal farming, and livestock production. When it comes to the crop sector, an area whereby you can self-employ yourself is in agro-leadership. With agro-leadership here we are talking of those people who are sellers of agricultural inputs. Of course, before you open that shop, you will need to go and get some training from the people who control use of pesticides and the like, so that you are competent and don't contravene the laws and regulations of the country. But it's an area whereby you can self-employ yourself, and you will be servicing the agricultural sector or the livestock sector in one way or the other, and that will be a non-farm agricultural job, but it's still linked to the agricultural sector. But also we have the production of high-value crops. We know young people and graduates will not want to dwell in crops that don't offer high returns. Therefore, for graduates, what we can do is to engage in high-value crops. Those crops that give you a quick return and use the time and produce within a short period of time. Then we need to start growing palm oil perhaps now with the innovations in breeding and everything. I know we are both pretty amateur in price, but if it was something to do like in months after 10 years, can be very difficult for a youth or a graduate to engage in that. But things like rice, if you are in an area where you've got enough water, you can harvest rice even 4 times a year. And rice has a good return. So it's an area where the youth can engage, and graduates can also engage in barley, that's for the growers and everything. And if you enter into contract farming, it's an area where you can also employ yourself and get some decent wages. But also green maize. When you grow green maize, you get more money by selling green maize than selling red maize. From the same acre, if you sell 20 bags, perhaps the person who sold one piece of maize at 100 or even 50 shillings will have earned more than you when you come and sell dried maize. So you can engage in the business of selling green maize, because many people like or enjoy roasted maize, and even people use maize in different ways as a potato, and therefore you can easily employ yourself there. But as I said, oilseeds also present an opportunity for employment, and they have high value crops, and you can earn a good income from selling sunflower, groundnuts, cashew nuts, etc. But if we zero down to horticulture, you can engage in horticulture and produce things like colored sweet pepper, tomatoes. But with tomatoes and these other highly perishable horticultural crops, it's very important that you do the proper timing. You know, when everybody produces tomatoes all over Tanzania, the price of tomatoes goes down. So you need to try and produce during that time when few people are producing tomatoes, so that you get good market and a good price. We also green beans, mushroom, cut flower production, spices, vanilla, garlic, ginger, and many more. But also now we have this avocado, and people in Jombe know that avocado is now a big business, and people come from Kenya and South Africa to come and buy avocado to go and use in production of various things, including cooking oil, but it's also used in cosmetics. So you can see that there are a lot of avenues when it comes to production of cattle crops and income generation for the youth and graduates included. And I can give you an example. The day before yesterday, we visited the greenhouses at Slovenia University of Agriculture, and we met one lady who's in that incubation program that is run in collaboration of SUA and PAS. And that lady said she made 6 million profit for growing sweet pepper, the red sweet pepper. So after checking all the costs in cutting the production, that person was able to make 6 million. You as a graduate, now imagine after you graduate here, you just go home and start scrambling for the remote control of the TV with your siblings and house help and everything. And it becomes just watch the whole day, everybody wants the remote so that they can watch the program they desire. While in the morning, even if you want data, you have to ask your father or your mother or guardian that please can you give me 1,000. But this lady made 6 million in 6 months. So it's a difference. So, but of course, you have to choose the right crop. Perhaps maize should not have generated the 6 million because like that 6 million was made from a very small area. It's like if we partition here where the carpet ends that way, so that's the size of the greenhouse that generated 6 million in 6 months. So what about if that person had the whole building? We could have been talking of 18 million, which is quite a decent income. And then we have crop marketing. Graduates can also apply their knowledge and skills to create domestic and international markets opportunities for Tanzanian agricultural products in terms of food, cash crops, fiber, and other crops, and therefore generate an income. But also there's the area of agro-processing. Graduates can engage in processing of traditional raw commodities such as cassava, banana, and flour for baked products and get an income from the same. But also production of soya, bean, milk, and the like. For those who watch football, the Premier League, there's that commercial break who talks about soya milk, isn't it? And people are now drinking soya milk, especially those who have intolerance of milk from cows. Okay? Because some people cannot drink milk from cows because perhaps their system can no longer digest and they're intolerant to, they say lactose intolerant. So such people cannot drink soya milk. So you see, there's also the possibility of producing soya milk from the soya crop and therefore get an income from the sale. When it comes to livestock production, we all know that the urban areas are growing, and we also know that the middle class is also growing. And there's a tendency as the middle class grows, they also like posh things. And one of the things they like is meat and milk products. Animal products are part and parcel of the diet of the elite, of the people with cash. So there's a potential for the graduates to enter into the livestock production so that they can produce animal products for this growing middle class. You know that in towns, even those who are not that rich, many people rely on chips and eggs. Many youth, the food of many youth is chips and eggs. And I think even new graduates, I think most of you, the most food you ate or perhaps were absorbed was chips and the eggs comes from the livestock. So it's an area where you can invest your energy and earn an income. But also, there are these things to do with health. Currently, some people are being advised not to eat red meat. So there is a tendency of people cutting down on the consumption of red meat. And they are being told to replace that with white meat. And poultry is one of the ways of providing that white meat. So the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries 2022 Action Master Plan for the livestock sector talks about that we need to increase our poultry production so that we can suffice our own consumptions in Tanzania, but have the opportunity to sell the surplus to other countries. And there's that example there which shows that in Ethiopia, graduates have engaged in livestock production and they've made some good living for themselves. Other areas which can earn quick cash to graduates include pig production. Dairy perhaps will require more capital compared to pig and poultry. When it comes to pig, perhaps it's not more of the revenue they did from the calf stage to the slaughter stage. You could enter in the middle there and you go for fattening. You go and buy those cattle that are emaciated. You feed them for 2-3 months and you sell, and that's one of the things that is being done under a better tomorrow for the youth under the government flagship project. But also, you could engage in marketing of livestock and livestock products as an employment route for you, and Tanzania has so many livestock in terms of cattle, goats, and poultry, but we are exporting very little. And for those who followed the recently concluded parliamentary session, one of the members of parliament talked about how Brazil exports a lot of meat to the Middle East. And Tanzania will export less than 20,000 tons, while Brazil exported more than 2 million tons of meat to the Middle East. And Tanzania is closer to the Middle East than Brazil. So there's an opportunity for us to take that opportunity of seeing how we can use the livestock resources available to us to earn an income and offer employment opportunities to others too. But also, production of livestock pigs is another area whereby graduates can engage. And you don't have to have a degree in animal science so that you can engage in pig production. You can employ somebody with that knowledge and you run your business, but you can also educate yourself through various workshops, seminars, and you can be competent, reading online, using your smartphone. Therefore, it's an opportunity. Again, remember that when it comes to dry periods, many livestock producers lose many of their cattle and sheep because of lack of pasture. So even just producing pasture can earn you an income and you will have engaged yourself in agriculture. So you can produce animal feeds for livestock, for ruminants, but also we can engage in producing things that can be used in combination of poultry feeds, and for example, engaging in production of black soldier flies and common housefly larvae, which can be dried and incorporated in animal feed formulations and perhaps replace sardines and other fish products, which at times are really quite expensive, and which some people don't like the taste of the sardine in their meal or poultry meat. Therefore, livestock feeds also offer an avenue for graduates to self-employ themselves. But there could be some other opportunities of you as a graduate from Jordan University College to engage in agriculture. Perhaps you are good at use of ICT. So you can use ICT and see how you can help the people in agriculture in terms of marketing, in terms of access to extension services, and the like, in terms of helping connect different people with who need each other in the agricultural value chain. So ICT solutions is an area perhaps which is attractive to the youth, and that has been done in Rwanda, and some youth in Rwanda use ICT to try and improve how agriculture is practiced in their country. But also, we know we have a lot of issues and challenges when it comes to farming and pricing, and whether markets will be there or not. You can go around that problem through contract farming. You can engage in contract farming whereby you enter into contract with the person and then you produce the quantities they want at a price that was agreed before you even start the production. And your market is assured, and therefore it can be easy for growers to take that opportunity to engage in farming as a form of employment. But also, organic farming is another area whereby graduates can engage themselves with and earn a living. Because of changes in eating habits. There are some people who now just eat organic things. They want to eat things that have not been produced using fertilizers and herbicides that have been manufactured in the factories or whatever. So you can engage with organic farming and get a living. And many countries in Europe and in the developed world pay a premium price for organically produced produce. And even in Tanzania now, the middle class, a portion of the middle class is going for organic farming. And that's why when you go to the eating places, at times people ask about, I want local chicken and not broiler. So you see, and at times there isn't enough supply of the local chicken to meet people's needs. Okay? Even eggs produced by the local chicken fetch a better price than eggs produced by the improved stock, the layers. Okay, so now, having looked at the opportunities in the crop sector and the livestock sector, what are the easiest opportunities for the graduates to engage in agriculture currently? And I'm talking about the Building a Better Tomorrow initiative for the business that is under the Ministry of Agriculture. This started recently, but it is providing graduates from all fields with an opportunity to engage with agriculture or livestock production as a way of making a living. And they offer some training before these youth are led out there to go and practice agriculture, but also the government has put in place a way that they will be giving these youth land which they can do their farming with. So that's one of the. And that program is going to extend to 2030, so you can use that opportunity. Of course, it's competitive, and you have to meet the criteria set by the government for you to be able to benefit from that program. But we have other internship programs, for example, the Sokoine University Graduate Entrepreneurs Cooperative, and they have a national apprenticeship program whereby you can go to the student boxes which are found at Sokoine University of Agriculture. And there you can get more details, but you can become a member of Convocation and start benefiting from the internships they offer. And Convocation also offers connections to international internship programs. And they have two, whereby one is that of Israel and there's that other one of the United States of America. So through the Convocation internship program, you can go and learn how to practice farming, but also which nodes perhaps are more profitable. And they will give you mentorship and coaching, and after a while you'll be able to graduate and be competent and go out there on yourself and start practicing profitable agriculture. And they will give you the hands-on, so even if you don't have the training in agriculture and livestock production, the hands-on experience will equip you with the necessary skills. So with international programs, Convocation places graduates with some international organizations whereby they go and practice. And for up to now, around 250 individuals have benefited from the program of international internship. The Israel, of course, now there's war there, so perhaps people will be worried that how can they go to Israel, but this war will be over, and after a while, the program will start. I have experience of some of my students going there in this internship program in Israel, and they get a lot of experience, but also they also earn an income. So as you go and do the internship in Israel, when you are learning to do farming, you also get paid. So that saving from that payment can now be your seed money to start your own agricultural enterprise when you come back to Tanzania. So it's an opportunity that anyone can grab, regardless of the program they do for their undergraduates. There's also the international intern program in the US. This is also managed by Convocation. But I think Convocation has also added another avenue. They are now starting to send graduates to Poland for a 2-year work permit. So you go to Poland, they give you a work permit to go and work in farms and whatever for 2 years, you get paid, and then you come back. So as you work in those farms, you also learn some new technologies and some new ways of producing profitably. Because subsistence farming cannot make a person enjoy life. And that's why perhaps many youth don't like farming, because we look at our parents and grandparents, because most of them practice subsistence farming. Therefore, it becomes very difficult for them to be able to see how they can make a living from agriculture, because they see the suffering. But nonetheless, the same subsistence farming has made some of us who we are today. So although we call it subsistence farming, but they still manage to send us to school, they manage to give us some pocket money, in a tough way, but they still manage to feed us and to clothe us. So definitely, if we improve on the way our parents farmed, definitely we can do great things. We also have another internship program in agriculture production and training center. This a center near Himo in northern Tanzania, and it's run by the Catholic Church. And here there's also a possibility of you going there and learning hands-on agricultural production. So, and they can also give you some internships and some placements with other people and learn. But also, apart from these fields that I've mentioned here, if you go to most of the Catholic parishes, you will find they engage themselves with poultry production, pig production, vegetable production, and many other forms of agriculture. So you can even learn from the many Catholic parishes that are around us, and you can see how those parishes have been able to maintain minimum cost in terms of running their affairs, and you will never hear a lot of struggles when it comes to the Catholic Church, because they can produce and they can sustain themselves easily, because they have invested adequately in agriculture and livestock production. So apart from these few examples that I've given for internships, you can also get some internship from some of these Catholic parishes that are engaged in agriculture and livestock production, and you can learn a lot when it comes to agriculture and livestock production. Now, in Tanzania, we have some few banks that offer agricultural credit, but we hope in the future there will be an increase. The major bank that offers agricultural credit is the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, but this has been blamed in the past for dealing mostly with very big farmers, medium-scale farmers and large-scale farmers, and not that much with small-scale farmers. But I think they've started to change, and they started to have some windows for ordinary farmers. But we also have the NNB, National Microfinance Bank. This has the Demand and Commercial Farmers Finance, and that is the criteria based on the website they listed. That they want somebody to at least have something like 5.2 hectares. So if you have 5.2 hectares to 50 hectares, you can qualify for that credit facility. But of course, they want you to have some 2 years of good harvest and sale records, but also the banking relationship with clean records. But you can make that. But we also have the Access Microfinance Bank. They also offer 500,000 to 50 million Tanzanian shillings for to finance agricultural production and livestock production. We have the Equity Bank that they also have their commercial agricultural loan. So these are just a few examples of banks that can offer you credit to if you're interested in engaging in agriculture as an employment opportunity. But in the past, agriculture was also very risky because there was lack of agricultural finance, insurance. But the government, in collaboration with the private sector, they've come up with some insurance schemes. And we have a few insurance companies that are already offering insurance for agriculture. We have the Alliance Crop Insurance, we have the ECA Tanzania Insurance Agency Limited, which is a registered alliance focused on the development and distribution of agricultural insurance. But we also have the UAP Insurance Tanzania, which insures your crops against drought, fire, hail, frost, and other perils. But of course, conditions will also, you don't depend on the insurance you subscribe to, that is what you be paid. So, but at least there's agricultural insurance, Therefore, you cannot be afraid that if you enter into agriculture, you could lose everything because of unforeseen conditions. Now, what are the challenges that face graduates when it comes to their self-employment in agriculture? One of the challenges is lack of skills. So some of you will say that I did not do an agricultural program, so I don't have the skills, but that can be sorted out by attending training, short-term training and long-term training, and farm visits, and also through access to agricultural extension sectors. But another challenge is limited access to and ownership of land. We know that many people don't own land, and at times they have to rent out the land. And there are few things you can do on rented land. If the land does not belong to you, it can be very difficult for you to heavily invest in it. But nonetheless, that can be sorted out. But also, limited access to agro inputs and extension sectors can also be another challenge. And another challenge can be limited access to market, related infrastructure and auxiliary sectors. At the times, we have very poor road infrastructure upcountry, and that can affect the pricing of your commodities and also the price of the inputs, and therefore that can be a hindrance to the youth engaging in agriculture. But also limited access to financial services because of lack of collateral. The youth mostly do not have collateral, but they can use to borrow money from formal financial institutions. Therefore, that becomes a hindrance to their self-employment in agriculture. But also the major obstacle or challenge is the lack of motivation and attitude towards agriculture by the youth and graduates. Therefore, we have to break that by having a mindset change. We need to start looking at agriculture in a positive way. I know one graduate who graduated from Zoom University with a degree in economics, but he now has a very, very big profit farm in the world. And he left, he did not go to banking or whatever, he just decided to go to profit farm, and now he's just up around 1 million profit bags. And that is something he started up in the last 10 years. So we can change our mindset and still benefit from agriculture if we look at it positively. But also we have the other challenge of climate change and its variability. Nowadays it's very difficult to know whether you are in the long rain season, whether you are in the short rain season, or whether the rain will come at all. So this is also another challenge that the youth might be discussed through it when it comes to the involvement in agriculture, production and the source of employment. But you have this other major big problem of landing conflicts, and you have conflicts between the farmers, the crop farmers and livestock keepers, but also conflicts between the wildlife and the farmers, you have conflicts between, so there are a lot of conflicts around land, and therefore this can also discourage youth engagement in agriculture as a source of employment. So what are the possible solutions? To address the challenges that I just briefly mentioned, perhaps we need to come up with affordable loans for the youth. The government needs to sit down with the financial institutions and request them to come with credit lines which are suitable to graduates who don't have collateral like immovable assets like buildings and title deed land, etc., etc. So we need to come up with affordable loans, but that will require the financial institutions to come up with credit lines that are attractive and that which can work for the youth and graduates in general. But we might also need to have some land policy review and review the Land Act of 1999 so that we ensure the youth can have access to land which they can own and therefore use to invest and modernize their farming. There might also be the need to redistribute the land that is being held by people who use that land for speculation. There are a lot of big farms that are protected and people are just holding them and don't see enough production happening on those pieces of land, while the youth don't have land. So we might need as a government to change that and allow the youth to get that piece of land so that they can either start livestock ranches or do crop production. I'm already alluded to the mindset change. graduates need to change, and instead of just looking at white-collar jobs, they need now to see if they can engage in agriculture, get a bit dirty, but make a living from the same. But also, when it comes to access to extension services, we might need to turn into e-extension services, whereby we will use our mobile phones, laptops, and other ICT technologies to access agricultural extension services in real time. But when it comes to climate change, we need to adopt climate smart agriculture. We need to enter into that type of agriculture that we can manage through investing in irrigation schemes, but also in trying to minimize wastage of water as much as possible so that we go for precision agriculture. Instead of just flooding our fields with water, you just water the plants when they need the water, and therefore we will minimize the use of the water source and be more effective in terms of how we produce our produce. But again, contract farming, that will solve the problem of markets, because before you start production, you already know of your market and you already assured of the price that you agree with the person you are entering the contract into before you even start producing. So you want people, farmers, and other landowners and other landowners. So the government has to make sure that villages come up with proper land use plans so that they allocate areas for crop production and they will allocate areas for livestock production and make sure those areas have the required facilities for whatever activity that's happening there. So if you have an area for livestock production, you must ensure that it is supplied with water for the livestock. Otherwise, the people will sell the livestock and cross over the agricultural or croplands and live into unnecessary conflicts with the top producers. And to conclude, I'm saying that I believe that with the current youth unemployment rates and with the current unemployment of university graduates, some graduates who completed university in 2013 have not been employed today until we are in 2023. So 10 years have passed and somebody has not been employed. And we are going to graduate, some of you are going to graduate today, and we are going to enter that pool. Therefore, I believe the agricultural sector can be a way of you self-employing yourself and earning a decent life for yourself. And that you can employ yourself in those areas where you think they are more profitable for you along the agricultural value chain, but most importantly, go for the high value crops. You make more money from those, and if you do that, you will not regret your choice of using agriculture as a source of employment. Nonetheless, it can also be concluded that the youth graduates from universities like JUCO face many challenges when it comes to them self-employing themselves in agriculture, and we saw some of those challenges include access to finance, access to the land, the issue of infrastructure, the issue of skills, but those can be sorted out through the solutions that I proposed earlier, and therefore we are recommending that the government, especially the local government, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Livestock and other stakeholders, they should endeavor into creating a conducive environment for talent institution graduates and other youth to venture into agriculture by ensuring that land security is assured, financial institutions come up with new products for the graduates, and proper land use plans are put in place. So if these are put in place, and with some close visits by the extension officers, I believe the youth can make a living from agriculture, and unemployment rate in Tanzania will be reduced, and the government of Tanzania will also save a lot of foreign currency that is used to import food products that we can produce locally. For example, sugar, cooking oil, milk, you name it. If we do that, we will increase our contribution to the GDP, but also we will be saving the nation from the waste of using foreign resources that could be used for other more productive ventures. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Professor. Let us give him applause for the good presentation. That is not enough. You have to give a clap for the professor, because what he has presented is a life, not something theory, but in a practical way. So let us put it now in a practical, as we clap, and we promise that if we clap, that tells us that after moving this place, we can apply those things in our daily life. Let us congratulate him with a very lively clap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what follows is that we are going to have a discussion. So this one, I request the chairman of Duke Alumni will be leading us. And for this one, we are requested to be free. If there is any question, additions, you can add. So, Chairman of Duke Alumni, you're welcome to lead this forum of discussion.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Prof, for interesting presentation. It's really an eye-opening presentation and very relevant. I understand there are questions in our minds. One has graduated with a bachelor degree in philosophy, one in education, another one in ICT, and the professor has tried to relate these professions the way they can achieve in agriculture. This professor will present the facts actually. These are facts. There is a fiction story in Kiswahili for the card. There is a fiction story by Abu Nuwasi. I hope you have heard about Abu Nuwasi, isn't it? So, some years back, one person found Abu Nuwasi sketching a key. Abu Nuwasi had lost a key. So he was found sketching a key. And that person asked Abu Nuwasi, what are you looking at? Abu Nuwasi responded that I'm looking for a key. I lost a key. The second question was, where did you lose the key? Abu Nuwasi said, I lost the key not here, a bit distant from here, some 2 kilometers from here. But I'm not searching the key there where I lost, I'm searching here, because here there is light, and where I lost it is dark. Abu Nuwasi alikuwa anatafuta funguo sehemu ambayo kuna mwanga, lakini siku alipopotezea, yeye alikuwa amepotezea funguo sehemu ambayo kulikuwa na nini? Na giza. Kwa hiyo akasema hawezi kutafuta funguo kwenye giza, amekuja kutafuta kwenye mwanga. Now the question is, will Abu Nuwasi get the lost key? That is difficult and closer to impossible. Professor has just to try to recap on what the professor presented. Professor presented some statistics when he started presenting. Now the population of the world is 9 billion now, closer to 9 billion. They need food. But in Tanzania, under 15 years of age, covers now 43.6% of today's statistics. Under 15 years of age. And 15 to 35 years of age, they make 35.5%. What does it tell? Closer to more than 70% of Tanzanian population are under 35. You see, Tanzania is among of the young generation in the world. So challenges of employment within Tanzania are just evident from today. So agriculture is among of the area where graduates can look for employment. How is it now? what Professor did say. Is the question is, after graduation, where should you go? That's the main question also, as we are discussing this, what Professor has presented, we're going to be looking at. For instance, just a question to you. How many are graduating from education degree? A combination of various degrees in education for this year. Can we have a rough number of children? Are they 1,000? Yes, approaching maybe 1,000. And we do say closer to 5,000 are graduating just in education. This year, UDOM about 80,000, University of Dar es Salaam about 80,000, St. Augustine main campus closer to 60,000. In a way, just those graduating from education degrees are about 30,000 in Tanzania. And in the past 3 years, government has employed only 19,000 teachers. And in those 3 years, those graduating from education degree only are closer to 90,000. So you see the possibility of accessing employment in teaching. But now our degrees are taught us another good thing. Soft skills is what the professor actually, in other words, was talking about. You have innovations, you have creativity, you have language power, you have communication ability, above all, you have thinking ability. That is where our story is. That though we did philosophy, though we did education, though we did ICT, we have a chance in agriculture. So please, come for questions, come for comments, and I hope Prof. you will share these notes with us. They are good things to learn from these notes. I welcome you now for questions, for comments, anything related to this presentation. Welcome. We will have maybe 3 questions, then the professor will respond, or 3 comments, then the professor will add some materials on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question concerning the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. May I ask a question? The issue of resource depression and then climatic change as a major challenges, and all the issues related to agriculture depend on natural resources. And we have also the issue of urban expansion and the water demands, which is also needed to other sectors apart from agriculture. But there is the issue of mineral exploration and the issue of milk value chain, which is part of agriculture. Now, as far as these challenges of resource depletion, climate changes, expansion of towns, cities, water demand, what can we do? Particularly as who are not taking agriculture, and we see them as posing major challenge in agriculture. What can we do with them so that we become motivated that once we invest in agriculture, we want to lose what we have invested? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. If there's another question, we are taking 3 questions, then Professor will respond. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree with the professor when he said that agriculture was the first profession, and that agriculture will continue to generate many jobs in the future. But the question is, why is it not attractive? The short answer is, to me, agriculture is very risky. Even if you now have insurance for agriculture. But it's very risky because it's rain dependent. And if you look at the hectarage, I know you know, I don't have the numbers, but I know I'm sure you have. If you look at the hectarage, the total hectarage used for agriculture, and then find the ratio of the hectarage used by irrigation. For the last 6 years after independence, has it been increasing, or it has remained stagnant, or it has gone down? Because that would have helped if the government, we need the government to invest in the construction of dams and irrigation infrastructure. If that is done, and people they know that once you go into agriculture, it's not a question of having a sizable land, but you want to make sure that during the 12 months you are able to plan the use of your land and the use of the water, and at the end of the day you come up with something which was planned. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question.
We should try to be brief at the same time.
Professor, I appreciate your presentation. My first part of the question is how to correct the mindset, because we speak about the issue of mindset. How to correct the mindset, because now here is where there is a problem. My second part is about the issue of capital, markets, and the area of investment. We speak very well, but in practical, we get capital, get areas of investment. Now we say land profit, and that is land profit is still there everywhere. Get where we can invest. The issue of market, for example, now the kilogram of maize now in the restaurant is 1,000. When you have 4 tons, you invest, then you have 4 tons. Once 1% for 1,000 per kilogram, you cannot get profit. So people it also need capital. So it is loss, it is risk. Now how to wait on this capital area of investment market, please.
Thank you for the questions. Now I invite the professor to react.
Thank you very much for the questions. You know, climate change is a reality, and the urban centers are expanding. And in fact, by just the urban centers expanding, that's an opportunity for you, for graduates. Because many graduates don't want to go to the rural area. There's something they call urban farming, whereby you farm around the peri-urban areas of, let's say, Morocco, to feed the urban population. That can be a great opportunity. But also, when it comes to water demand, there's something in Tanzania we're not doing adequately. We've been having a lot of rains these few days, but all that water has gone to the Indian Ocean. And after 1 month, people start struggling to look for water. I went to Makueni, near Machakos in Kenya, and people, you might find someone does not have a very posh house, but at least he's done something where he harvests rainwater and stores it, so that he or she can use that water for his agricultural production. So families can start harvesting the rainwater even before the government constructs deep dams. I was in Monduli at one time, I think that was in 1996. We visited one Maasai pastoralist, and he had dug a dam, a small dam for himself, and he told us that when he was digging that dam, all the other people saw him as mad. But after he harvested the water, and when there was water shortage, he was selling water to the people. And for those who did not have money to buy the water, he used to give them work to water his banana plants. So he watered the banana plants first, and and then we take one bucket of water. So you can see you can be innovative. In terms of weather, Tanzania is far blessed than Israel and South Africa. And yet Israel and South Africa exports fruits and vegetables worldwide because of technology, use of technology, and in terms of precision agriculture, which Israel is far ahead because they've learned from their problems to see how best they can use the little water resources available to them. So, as Tanzanians, we need to change. As an individual, and then our politicians also need to change. Definitely, if the politicians do not change, perhaps the youth will continue to be not attracted by the agricultural sector because at times some things need political will. Because it's through political will that some of these conflicts will be solved. But if the politicians side with one side and leave the other side, these conflicts will not go away. There are some villages which have land use plans, but they are not adhered to because of political interference. One person says, these are my people, leave them to do what they want to do, and that is wrong. So with climate change, we just need to go for climate smart agriculture, start harvesting rainwater. Where I come from, in the district, there's one person who, his house is not good, it's of mud walls and timber, and corrugated, but he built a water harvesting infrastructure before building a good house. While other people near him have built good houses and they don't have water. They go and buy water from him. And he, after harvesting that water, he now uses that water to produce vegetables, which he sells to the neighbors who live in good houses. So there could be, we need to rethink where we invest our resources so that we can invest in agriculture and benefit from the same. So with urban expansion, it's a good market for graduates to engage in agriculture because these urban people don't produce for themselves. They need food to be supplied to them. Therefore, the graduates can now take that and go to around the Kesa there and get to 20 to 10 hectares, to start producing and bringing produce to Morogoro to feed those people who don't want to do farming. And then when it comes to financial sources, another way of the youth curbing the challenge of capital for agriculture is joining forces through self-help groups, through village savings and whatever associations. These people have helped many people get the resources that they require because they charge less interest on the loans compared to commercial banks. So there would be ways of coming together and forming separate groups so that you put your resources and borrow the resources and use them to invest in agriculture. In some other countries they've done that and it has worked. Each construction done in many areas and expanding the irrigation schemes, but perhaps we need to do more because with the threat of climate change, definitely we cannot continue to rely on rain-fed agriculture, which is currently the situation in Tanzania. When it comes to mindset change, I would ask graduates to think critically. Sit in the sitting room and start thinking about your guardian who are old and who are feeding you and who are giving you money to buy airtime, to buy data for roaming, and ask yourself, when roaming, what are you looking for? Are you looking for productive things or are you looking for things like where is Diamond performing? Where is Antima performing? How many goals was Yanga beaten or Simba? And then after you get answers to that and see whether do those answers give you food? Do those answers give you good sleep at night? You find no, you need to still eat. So start thinking differently and say, as an old person, can I continue to rely on my parents to feed me, to clothe me, to even give me money to go and report a letter for a job application? Well, perhaps even outside there's a piece of land which is idle. You can start planting even amaranthus or some kind of crops around the household and save your household from buying food which will be produced. So we need to change. We need to start thinking that it's not nice to rely on aging parents. The parents when we look at the times, is around, let's say, 5 years. This person is only left with half an hour to survive. And yet is the breadwinner of the household. Is that correct? So that's when, if as a youth you start looking at that and questioning yourself critically, you know that you need now to solve the problem of burdening your parents unnecessarily. And you might now decide to go out and look for something to do, either in agriculture or else to keep it, and you can make a living. There are many students who finish university and they decide to go into agriculture and they're making a good living. I believe you've already heard of Shambani Boys. Shambani Boys is an association that was formed by University of Somalia graduates, and they started to collect milk from the Maasai and the pastoralists. And now they're a big company, and people have created jobs for themselves, but they've also created jobs for other people who collect milk for them. So let's think critically outside the box, they say, or keep the walls and think broadly and see how you can change. But more importantly, avoid being a beggar. You can either beg from other people or you can beg from your parents. So if you are begging from your parents, you are a beggar. So say, I don't want to be a beggar. Tell your parents, I don't want to be a beggar. Please give me a loan. I want to go to Mikese and start farming. So that's the way. But if you just want, if you are looking for that particular job, it will come after 10 years. And in many sectors, there are things of introducing exams. Because if someone completes university 2023 and come 2033, that person does not have a job, is that education still valid that he got? It could be obsolete, isn't it? So if they give an exam, will you pass? Will you not pass? So think differently and start working on the resource that is abundant in you, energy. It is when they say mtaji maskini nguvu zake. I was in Canada, and there's one guy who came from Soma. He did not have anything. He just asked for a piece of land and found on that land until he got a lot of money that enabled him to make a living. At Milan also, there was a colleague of mine who had a degree in agricultural economics and a wife who had an advanced diploma in materials management from Budapest. They quit job and went into poultry farming. That person got a scholarship to go to the Netherlands, to go and do a master's in the Netherlands. He refused to go because he had poultry, which he could not leave behind. And that person got his initial capital from growing tomatoes. So he grew tomatoes, got money from the tomatoes, and started a small poultry farm. And the poultry farm started to grow until he thought, I can no longer be employed by the government. And when he came to the government restructuring programs, when government employees were being laid off, he asked to be laid off voluntarily, him and his wife, and they left and they are now busy in poultry production and they are enjoying life. The car they drive, I cannot drive even after 10 years. I will not be able to afford it because they rely on government salary. With their own production, they can buy the car they want, brand new. So guys, you may think agriculture is not that productive, but if you enter the right node, if you go for the right crop or right species, you could make it. When it comes to maize, that people have types of maize, this is where now someone needs to think critically. If you have maize and it's fetching you less money, why don't you turn that maize into animal feed and raise chicken or fatten cattle and then sell the cattle? So you need to add value to that maize. Rather than sell the maize, raise pigs or chicken or fatten cattle and you get more money compared to selling that maize in the slum. Markets, as we said, through ICT, through innovativeness, you can get markets and the government has opened its borders and you can sell your produce wherever. But what is important is that You need to get the market wherever they are, and you need to be a person who is trustworthy, because you can get the market and we don't supply us with 2 tons of maize every week, but you are able to supply the 2 tons of maize every week. So that's the problem. So if you are also looking for markets and when you get them, be trustworthy. If you enter into the contract of supplying that amount of things, make sure you do all that is in your capabilities to make sure you continue that supply. Otherwise, at times you lose markets because you only have up 10,000 bags of maize and then you want to look for a big tender, and after 1 month you run out of stock and you can no longer supply the market. Therefore, yes, there are these questions, but with critical thought, we can make a difference. We can learn from our friends, we can learn from what others are doing, and we can make the ways into using agricultural livestock as a source of employment for ourselves and for others. I think I've answered most of the questions, perhaps not 100%, but to some extent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then now please, the professor, now we have also Tanzania Higher Learning Institute Student Organization President, that is Maria John Thomas, who is also the product of Jordan University, the former president of Johnson. Please just wait for them. Okay, for just a contribution, I have a question that they say that somebody asked that agriculture is a risk, but I can say philosophically, we always say that whatever we are doing, all of us we are doing things in the risky way. Even in education itself, if you are studying, you are risking because you don't know what's coming in front of you. We are here, but we see the world, but behind the world, we don't see. So philosophically, even you are existent in an accidental way. So that's what I can answer. That question we got that about art and what people say that something that we do something is risky. Remember, whatever you're doing, you have to risk yourself. Then after risking, if you get a profit, then you must question ready, just continue.
MC, we don't have much time, so we quickly go to questions.
Thank you. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you very much for the very elucidating presentation, and I would really go into the mindset. And let me approach Professor Rana. I'm one of the beneficiaries of the program of visiting and software in the plane. I've been following our students who graduated, and I've seen those who benefited very much. And we had a chat and say, we are not far from Sokoine. Why don't you use you as our incubation center? Professor, remember. And what you're saying here is there are ways of changing mindset once you really declare that you need to change. You're not continuing, you're not going to do it. One of the ways, I remember myself reading books. Reading books that teach us about why are we poor. You're poor because you're poor. The rich and the poor. And they talk about investment, and they talk about people who, when they are taught about change and opportunities, they always see the world as problem. They start with problems rather than trying to learn better of the success stories. And they think that a project should start big. Let's start with 2, 3, 4, small scale, 2, 3, 4 tickets, 1 go, 3 go. Unakwenda mnadai unafuta mbuzi anayeaura anaweza apata au triplets. 1. Mwaka mzima unakuzwa gari. So let's think of how best we could make use of this opportunity to establish the enterprise by learning for better case studies, successful stories, and then linking to the Sokoine not far, so that we start changing our minds slowly and don't expect everybody to come and push your mind and change it. So I would say really, let's begin with Pioneer, Professor Russell. begin with pioneers through the use of, through whatever links. And those pioneers will be equipped with the successful kind of values and those, even if you are still studying. Start saving. How do you spend your boom? Where do you spend it? And if you futuristic, I think you come out a rich person. And I remember I started doing my enterprises, the kind of small-scale farming, small-scale poetry, when I was in primary school. Through my secondary school, I was having degree units, something. At university, I had poetry. And as I continue, even back home where I've rented the house, I've turned all the markets, plant pots into vegetable pots. And I don't buy spirits. So, change your mind. Learn from successful stories. Thank you very much, and please open the doors more, and we'll do so. Also, do something to link with the Sokoine, there, and they can also come and ask for stories, how I benefited from it. Two of my cousins, sisters, and brothers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for the contribution. Question, addition?
Now this will be the last two, and after these two we'll be closing the session, going to another event.
Thank you. Contribution, question? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, the presentation is very useful for our time. And really it is a challenge for we young people as we see the reality of the life we are living. We cannot say that the presentation is not useful for all. But for me it's like a comment, because the life we know it, we don't, that we need the story to tell us how we are living in Africa, especially, exactly in Tanzania. The life is very tough. Starting even how we pay our school fees is very difficult. Coming to agriculture, it needs a lot of capital. You need the money to do it. And my comment is that you who have already have a job, sometimes we even in the society we are living, we see how the life even are living. You have a capital, but also you are not doing that agriculture, as even you have the energy to do it. But encouraging a youth who doesn't have even capital to do it, I see it will be very difficult. For me, what I see is that, as even the professor said, that we got to read the books, that even along the way, if we, our fathers or elders, we could show us that example. We could not even need to go to read those books. We could see the reality. In the presentation, he said to go to visit maybe some parishes are doing the agriculture, everything. Yes. In that way, looking how someone is doing it, we can learn than even reading the book. Even nowadays, even internet, you can do it. Looking that one is not enough. But if you have maybe your elder brother, your father is doing it, you can learn. You can even that mindset change. But someone who is telling you to send the mindset to do something, but himself is not doing it, it will be very difficult. For me, what I see in Africa, we need to leave this issue of only speaking, but to go for the reality. Saying that to do agriculture, like even myself as I'm speaking, I like it. Even when we could not take a time to look for a farm, I can appreciate like brother Polycarp, how he's doing the bananas here. He can earn a lot of money. But also it's because he has a capital. We cannot run with empty hands. The contribution, you see how the elders can also show us an example to help the young people to change the mindset, as we are saying. Looking also at the history of how we are studying. Some students are studying from primary. No time to work, no time to do any work, up to university. after finishing university, you tell him to go to do agriculture. Very difficult. We you elders, you are telling us that the issue of agriculture, before education was a different as we see now. You could study morning and the evening, your parents send you to the farm. You could learn and know it. But nowadays, the reality, some children, they don't know even how to plant a muchichi. And you are telling him finishing university to go to agriculture. I see for me that the reality was so far from it. Thank you very much.
The last person, so Professor will come later. The last person, a question, a comment. Okay, I hope we have time with you. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much. Okay, if you want examples of professors who are doing agriculture, go and look for someone known as Professor Shen. Professor Shen retired early so that he would dwell into ranching and dairy farming. His wife also retired early so that she could join him. One for Professor Legule is supplying feeds, animal feeds in Morogoro. Go and look for Professor Manago Tsua. He has a very big farm on the way to Dodoma. There are so many are into agriculture. Go and look for Professor Rogazira. He also has a very big farm. Go and look for Dr. Anna Tem, who is the matron of Sugeko. She has a very big farm in Libya, and she can even teach you how to raise people. So it's not like people are talking of things which they are not doing. I also raised cattle for quite some time before I went for further studies, and then they were sold, and when I came back, I was around, I could no longer look at them. So there are things you can do. And some people, the person I told you who was more than who was around 1 million bags, just go near the total petrol station near the market. There's somebody, there's that building near that petrol station. That person who sells those eggs, go and talk to him. He grew in Morogoro, and he did his degree at Mzumbe. But he now runs a poultry farm. So it's not something, he was not doing farming from when he was young. He decided that there's a role in farming. So don't have a negative attitude towards everything. Don't say that I can't, because you already have the notion that you cannot, because you're not doing it. There's always a time to start. You can always start. Time, how can you're not religious, you still are very young. You still have a lot of life in front of you, so don't despair. There are lots of ways you can learn, and there are many professors and senior lecturers who are in agriculture here in Morogoro. So don't think that people just preach what they cannot do. People are doing. And if you want to learn more, just go to Sugeko offices, and they'll give you a tour of their place, and you'll learn a lot. And even the brochures are here, I think I leave them with the students' leadership, and you can go and read more about them, and you can test them. So you can learn, so don't despair, because many people are doing things which they did not go to school to. For example, if I give you the managing director of Monenchi, that person did a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. But now he is the managing director of Mwananchi newspaper. He did not do journalism. There's this Jacqueline King. She's the chief executive officer of TAHA, Tanzania Agricultural Association. That lady did Bachelor of Science in Wildlife Management. But she's now overseeing an institution that is dealing with horticulture production and exporting horticultural products worldwide. And it's got a lot of praise worldwide. So you can do something different. We are human beings, we can learn. So let's not despair think that we cannot learn. It's very wrong to think that you cannot learn. And after I retire, I plan to go and start keeping dairy cattle. Because as you heard, I started with a diploma in dairy husband. And I'm going to finish with the dairy keeping if God gives me life beyond my retirement. So when I retire, I'll not be in town. I'll be in the village raising my dairy cow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof, for this presentation and address your comments. Let's again now congratulate you, Prof, for this presentation by good clap of hands. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. We will have the coming discussion as ended. We are going for a word from Deputy Academic. So welcome for a word. Then we will go for praise giving ceremony. And after praise giving, for studying students from different departments, we will welcome Dr. Wandera. Where is Dr. Wandera? Yes, we will welcome you, Dr. Wandera, for this event after praise giving. Then after Dr. Wandera, Duco President, I think you will have some 2 minutes to present issues here. So let's go to this event. Welcome.
Yes, good morning, everybody. According to the program, I'm supposed to say a word, but it has not been specified what kind of word I'm supposed to say. So I have decided to choose what to say. My talk will have 2 parts. The first is to talk about the whole idea of Convocation and Alumni Associations. And the second will be directed towards talking about our students who are going to be given prizes for their outstanding performance. So with regard to the first point, the question of convocation. Convocation is a word which has been used for many years in different parts of the world. It normally refers to a coming together of students of a particular college or university on a particular day in order to celebrate their state as graduates of a particular college. And this has been a practice in many parts of the world. And it is always of many times associated with the day of graduation, and that's why it takes place just a day before the graduation ceremony. Now, why is it important to have something like this convocation? Historically, many people have associated education with society. They want educated people to show that they care about the society in which they live, the society which educated them, to show concern for that society. So the idea of the convocation just before the graduation was meant to remind the graduates that they have certain obligations not only to society, but also to other members of the college, that is the university, which nurtured them and got them where they are. And in many other parts of the world, they use this occasion to try and impress the graduates about their alma mater, the college which educated them. They are encouraged to see whether they can help that college to help the others that are coming. So since they themselves benefited from the education, they are encouraged also to think about those who are coming after them, so that they too benefit. Now, they are encouraged to contribute something to to the development of their alma mater, that is their own college. Now, this is done in various ways. Some people make contributions for a particular cause of the university. Others pledge to develop a particular aspect of the university. Now, let me use a very simple example. 2 days ago, there was this convocation at Mzumbe, and the Honorable President was invited, and unfortunately she didn't turn up, but the intention was for her to be there as an alumna of Mzumbe. But the aim of the university was to see whether she and the rest of the members of the convocation could contribute something to the development of the building of a hostel for women in one of the campuses of Mzumbe. I think it is the Mbeya campus. Because at the main campus in Mzumbe, a similar thing had taken place. When I was chair there, the idea was to build a hostel for women students, and it was successful. It took some years, but it was very successful, and some other people who were not graduates of Mzumbe did also contribute, because it was the idea of the alumni of Mzumbe that they should erect a hostel for women students, and it was successful. Now, 2 days ago, they had an alumni or a convocation meeting where the president was invited, and the idea there was to try and encourage the members of the alumni, members of the convocation, to build a hostel for women students in Mbeya. So they have another campus in Mbeya, and that was the fee. So just to collect money to help the university realize one of their ideas, one of their dreams, to have a hostel for women students at Mbeya campus. So we also should think along the same lines. What challenges does DUCO have, and can we be of any help in any way whatsoever? We may not have thought about it today, but as we move on for the coming years, we should also think of having certain themes, certain ideas of how we could help our alma mater, our DUCO college, to do certain things for the benefit of society around us. So that is the first thing that I thought I would share with you. Now the second thing, as I said, is about those who are becoming graduates of DUCO from tomorrow onwards. After a few minutes, there are some of those who were outstanding in the academic performance will be given some kind of presence to remind them of their presence at DUCO, because they have done pretty well in terms of academics. But let me caution them, performing very well academically does not mean performing very well also socially. And that is my appeal to them. You are going to be graduates, yes. You did very well academically. Our hope and prayer is for you to do equally well socially after getting your degrees. So your behavior, your way of doing things should reflect the kind of outstandingness that you had when you were a student here. So I appeal to them all as they graduate to continue showing special effort, special outstandingness in providing service to the broader society. Be transformationalists, as the speaker said, or one of the speakers said. You are no longer going to be receivers. You are supposed to be transformationalists. So my appeal to them is, you have been outstanding as students, yes, but do also try to be outstanding as servants of this nation, servants of the people of Tanzania. And that is what we expect you all to do. With those words, Chair, may I say, I think it was a very useful coming together. Let's hope that in future our time together will be more fruitful, and we'll also have many more things to reflect upon. I would like to thank very much the speaker, today's speaker, for touching on a very important topic, agriculture, as an